Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Thank you for your kind introduction. I'm often asked, what do I do? And I have many job descriptions. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, and I'm also a wife. My daily activities include taking care of my family and my house. And I can proudly say, like many other women present in this room, that I'm trying my best to fulfill my everyday obligations. But I don't think that's enough. I've always felt that as humans we are responsible for one another, and I believe that it is my duty as citizen of this world to raise my voice against injustice, abuse, or discrimination in whatever small way I can. I started writing blogs and articles about 7 to 8 years ago. My write-ups are mostly about the common, everyday man and woman, his or her struggles and achievements. Heroes of my stories are life warriors and who range from a laborer working in the desert of UAE all day long to support his family, or a mother taking care of a disabled child every day of every year. A Very Resilient Amriki Dream is my first short novel. It was published last year and follows the story of a young immigrant woman. Her name is Safina, and she's a shy Pakistani girl who migrates to the United States to be with her husband. The thrill and the excitement she initially feels on moving here to America, as we Daisies call it, is however short-lived, as her dream of a happily ever after is shattered by verbal abuse she suffers. Ongoing repeated verbal attacks by a spouse or by someone in a position of power or authority can drastically impact an individual's self-esteem and give rise to anxiety and depression, among many other mental disorders. It was once a hidden crime, but in the past few years, domestic violence has emerged as a mainstream criminal issue. In cases dealing with verbal abuse, the damage to the victim is internal. There are no bruises, no scars, just a wounded spirit. There are many long-term effects of verbal abuse. For instance, verbal abuse is associated with chronic pain, migraine, frequent headaches, many heart-related problems. The psychological effects of verbal abuse include fear, anxiety, depression, stress, memory gap, hypertension, as well as alcohol and drug abuse. There are many women who suffer from domestic abuse over the years, and it goes unnoticed. Why? Because for many, America is still a foreign land. Many victims of domestic abuse are not aware of the option available to them to escape their situation. Studies have shown that many verbal abusers tend to suffer from mental illnesses. These illnesses range from depression to borderline personality disorders. Experts of domestic violence argue that domestic abuse is a learned behavior, and that most abusers have themselves been abused as children. People ask me why I wrote about the struggle of a South Asian lady in my first novel. Well, my answer is maybe because I have seen hundreds and thousands of immigrants and refugee women run restaurants or catering businesses working for over 70 hours a day, 70 hours a week. And maybe for that particular daycare employee who just stands in a corner and gives you a smile and not talk to you due to her lack of English skills. And for those ladies who not only work at 2 jobs, but also take care of their family when they come back home. And they run carpools and help with bake sales at school. All these hardworking immigrants represent a silent but a very big, huge, hardworking community within the United States of America. They are just not those women who dress up in brightly colored clothes or speak English with a heavy accent. They are very educated and very talented and very hardworking. Americans really read about them or know about them. My idea was to tell their story, and I wanted to write about them. They say women's work is never done. I think most of you will agree with me. The resilience of a Desi woman lies in her ability to stand tall in the face of adversity and to adjust herself in a country that is strange and new to her, and to love unconditionally, even when empathy is seldom offered. The title of my novel, A Very Resilient Amriki Dream, is that it's true that we humans can be quite resilient and hardworking, and we can also overcome the toughest situation. And I think this problem of domestic abuse can also be fought very well, and it can be overcome. I applaud Dr. Farah Basi and her team for organizing this Muslim Mental Health Conference and for giving me a chance to talk about verbal abuse in particular and domestic abuse in general and its connection to mental health. Such initiatives not only help those who are suffering from a mental disorder, but it also helps the families and also the friends who are dealing with a person who is suffering from this issue, as well as all of us, the community at large. When I look around in this hall, I see people representing various backgrounds and various ethnicities. Hopefully, during this gathering, the information which you have collected can be used to break barriers and to help start a much-needed discussion on both domestic abuse as well as mental illness within our communities. It is said that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, the virtual village is far and wide, and it is the responsibility of all of us to look after our village and its residents. Thank you, all of you, for inviting me over here. And my book can be purchased through the websites of Amazon and Barnes & Nobles. And if you guys have any questions.
Thank you.